action investigation. A 31-year-old woman who admits to having sex with a 13-year-old boy and then becoming pregnant with his child won't face any jail time under a plea deal with prosecutors.
11 Call for Action investigative reporter Matt Kroschel is joining us live tonight. Matt, 31-year-old Andrea Serrano was facing sexual assault charges, but accepted this new plea deal to stay out of prison.
Adam, Serrano gave birth to a baby boy. She admitted to having sex with that 13-year-old. The victim's mother, who we're not going to identify in this story, tells us she is not happy with this deal offered to a woman she says ruined her son's life.
I feel like my son's robbed of his childhood. Now he's having to be a father. He's a victim, and he's going to have to live with that for the rest of his life.
This mother says watching her son struggle with the reality he now faces breaks her heart.
What has this been like for your son?
It's caused him a lot of depression. He's shut down a lot.
Now she questions why this woman won't face prison time.
I feel like if she was a man and he was a little girl, it would definitely be different. They would be seeking incarceration. And I feel like because she's a woman, they're not. They're having compassion for her because she was pregnant. But I don't think they take into play, again, she was pregnant by a child. You know, that child was created from a sexual abuse.
Under terms of the plea deal the suspect signed off on, she'll be required to register as a sex offender, and the judge could sentence her to 10 years to life of sex offender intensive supervised probation. But Serrano will avoid any jail time since the DA's office dropped the original charges to a lesser charge that does not come with mandatory jail time.
What should other parents be looking for?
Don't trust anybody, honestly. I mean, you can't trust anybody now.
The victim's family says they are looking for the next steps in this case, and they'll actually ask the courts to give custody to the 13-year-old of this baby. Adam and Lindsay, what we do know is that Serrano has a hearing coming up in May where she will learn how much probation time she'll have. Currently, Serrano has full custody of the baby. Back to you.
Okay, we'll follow up on that case. Matt, thank you.
A shooting in Pueblo is now under investigation.
Female teacher getting impregnated by a 13-year-old boy. Wow, that's something, ain't it? Shit. Man, that's something. I know when I was 13, I was busting ass. You know, not like major, you know, but I was doing my little 1-2 with a couple little chicks and shit, you know. Now, having sex with grown women, like grown-ups at 13, no, I was, you know, having not, how to say some shit for Patreon. I have done some shit, but, you know, I started off selling drugs, so it was, yeah, I had to say some shit for Patreon, man, but we're gonna have to get into this, man, because we're in a different time here, in a different space in life for these things to go on. And, you know, we're gonna talk about this, fellas. Y'all already know what time it is. Wrists, elbows, knees, feet, shin, and everything to the back of the neck, holding it down, locking it down, submerging it down with the game. Please like, share, subscribe to the notification bell. As soon as I know these videos piping hot status, you're gonna get it down your phone into your ear, all your candy game, big facts. Videos for education purposes only, fair use only. You already know what time it is. Go and join that Patreon. It is lit. Get on that $1, $5, $10, $25 tier. You know what I'm saying? And let's get it going. It's lit on Patreon, man. Go and support your guy. And that's real. And get these videos you are not going to get on YouTube with different content. Different content, you dig? You see, I had to say some shit for Patreon, yeah, because you ain't great. Get what I'm about to say on YouTube now. But I've been through my things, you know. I ain't calling motherfuckers out and shit, but I had a couple adult encounters. I'm a man now, and I don't want to make it like I'm, you know, bitching, crying, and doing things of that nature, because I was highly aware of what I was doing when I was younger. I was extra little freaky motherfucker, so it wasn't that, you know. But when you in that drug life, that, you know, dealing drugs and shit, certain things go. And go with my bowel section, fellas. Y'all already know how to get at me. Every link is over there. Gmail, phone number for consultations, holler at me. Now, fellas, this has got double standards written all on it. We know that, right? Just like the mom said, if it was a man doing that to a 13-year-old girl, he will be up under the jail. Fuck up under the jail. Shit, he'll be ridiculed. He'll be brought to ruin. You know, they'll demolish him. He'll be marginalized. He'll be, sexual registration offender list for the rest of his remaining fucking life. He'd be, in some cases, in certain prisons, he'd be treated like a human fucking toilet because he chose to fuck with a minor. That's on that man. He shouldn't be doing these things. However, the young men, the impressionable young men that's growing up in today's time are not like the young man that was growing up in my era. My era, that's why they say 80s is the best era or whatever. It was the last era of realness and all. When you hear that shit, that was really the last era of the youngsters, the kids coming out of that era. Kids that was born in the 80s, the last era of kids that actually stood strong and had heart. I'm going to keep it real, man. I'm going to keep it all the way real. Because the kids born in the 90s and so forth, not to say they're not strong and they have heart, but they're pampered. And a lot of them are spoon-fed, a lot of the kids coming out of the 80s, what made them have heart, in a lot of ways, because their parents come up out of the late boomer area and shit, and hard-working factories, the factory area, go out and back, pillar switch and whoop your ass era. A lot of hard, harsh type shit, that was okay, because it strengthened the character of the children, you know what I'm saying? The teachers whooping your ass, the principal paddling your ass and shit. Yeah, take a paddle and, yeah. Nowadays, you don't touch my kid. You don't touch him. Child abuse. You scream at your child. He's going to sneak behind you. He or she is sneak behind your back, call the police on you. Child abuse. They're so liberal and sensitive. And that's why they say the 80s babies was the last of the aggression, the stand up, the children that actually had heart. The children that are actually go-getters, get out there and actually put in the work instead of bitching and complaining and looking at it like, hey, my father, my parents, or my mother, or whatever, got to take care of me. I can't do these things alone. They just so fucking timid and weak these days. And I'm gonna be honest, back in the days, if you fucked an adult woman at 13, 14, 15 or whatnot, you were seen as a fucking G. You were seen as a man. You fucked that grown bitch, man. Damn. You were seen as that. Nowadays, oh no, his innocence was taken. Even though his little motherfucker probably a freak. Ain't no telling, man. But you got to abide by the law of the land, and we know what it is. It's statutory rape, fellas. That's just what it is. That's the law. And she got impregnated by him, we pre-ejaculate and we developed the sperm system within us at that age, 12, 13, some 11, a little earlier, but 12, 13 and shit is typically around that age, and 14 or whatnot. You start discovering how you can actually, start discovering yourself in a sexual way. I would just put it like that, and he got her pregnant. Now he's forced to be a father. Ain't that something? She takes a little probation. She don't go to jail. She don't do none of that. But yet still, he's forced to be a father. He's forced to be a father when he was molested. And if he would say, oh, fuck that shit. I'm not doing nothing for no baby. I'm a kid my goddamn self. He's getting on child support. He's going to go through some shit. Well, then again, he is a kid. He's not old enough to go through the child support process. I don't know how this is going to work. I really don't know. I don't want to even speak into no shit. I don't know how it's going to work. However, she did not receive the harsh punishment like she was supposed to receive as an adult, like we as men would receive. I'm just going to put it to you like that. And that's because we're living in this liberal ass world, fellas. And that's what it is. You know, it's what we're living in, you know. Women rights, women power, you know, women stand up, women dominating the market, women dominating the workforce, women dominating the business force, women, you know, we dominate men. You hearing them in these videos. I'm dominating, you know, all this other shit that's going on. You know, can't no man tell us what to do. Strong, independent. We living in that fucking world, fellas. And it's highly accepted by the powers that be, the government or whatnot. It's highly accepted. Let's not act like it's not. It's highly accepted. Yeah, we as men on the surface level, or certain men in certain positions and shit, we know it's bullshit and it's flawed and it's cruddy and the shit ain't right. We know that, right? But you speak out against it, you know what time it is. You will be canceled, or you might get canceled, you know, and things you work for or whatnot, you'll be brought to ruin. That's just what it is. We already know this ain't right. We all already know that this is foul, you know. But young men, this is for you guys. You know, I don't know I don't know the audience. You may be 14, 15 or whatnot, sneaking on watching this shit, you know, what 13 or whatnot, I don't know. Focus on your education. Focus on schooling. Focus on listening to your parents, especially if they're productive and they teaching you the right way. Some things a lot of us would wish we had. Focus on that and grow into life. You know, embrace your childhood, you know, and do not get swindled and persuaded by a lot of these adults, because a lot of these sick motherfuckers got hidden agendas, and their agenda is to fucking fuck off your childhood. Like Mom said, his childhood is ruined. He's a fucking father when he didn't want this. You know, he might wanted some ass. Yeah, he's young, freaky, horny. You know, he's on porn and all the shit. All that shit's on the internet now. Ain't no magazines. All that shit's on the internet. They straight direct connection to some ass like that. So he's seeing this. His sex drive is increasing. You know, it's being a normal little young boy. So he's going to want to, you know, she's saying little things to him. She's playing with his little dick and shit like that. Then he's going, yeah, that's how it's going to happen. That's how it's going to go down. But do we know the consequences behind this? Do we know the longevity and the shit that he's got to face if he was to come in this woman? He don't know these things. He's unaware of what's going on. He's dumbfounded to this. So he shouldn't be getting taken through the ringer. She should. And that's real talk, because she knows better. But yet still, look, she got a fucking slap on her wrist. And she's still having a baby. And he's forced to be a father. Ain't that fucked up? So come over and join KC, man. And fuck with this shit. Like, share, subscribe. Go join that Patreon. Young fellas. And learn some game about yourself. Start learning who you are. Start embracing who you are. And adapt to the times that's moving forward with your life. Don't jump off into nothing because you feel like peer pressure's there. And you may get the peer pressure. You may get motherfuckers want to talk you about your money, talk you about your sex and things like that. Man, if you know it ain't right, it ain't right. Run from the shit. That's what I'm going to tell you, man. Or fuck your life over. Just like this young guy here at 13. It's not worth it. His whole life ahead of him is destroyed because she chose to entice this boy. And of course he's going to follow along with it. He's a fucking child. You know, he's impressionable. And you took advantage of him? That's scandalous. Like these videos, share them, and subscribe. Fellas, you already know what it is. Holla.